the reason it's possible is because time isn't necessarily a constant. Right now, we like to hold ourselves accountable, and we think time is constant because we want to hold ourselves accountable for everything that we have done. But really, reality is made up of moments in time. So this moment is separate from this moment. So the reason that miracles happen, or the reason that healing can be instant, is because the only connection to the last moment in time is our own worst thinking. Right? So in this moment, I had torn labrums and an 8.5 millimeter protrusion in L4, L5. In this moment, I didn't. Right? But the wonderful thing about this is, in between these two moments is perfection. Like, is the place where all possibilities exist. We've just forgotten that it's there. So I was able to get into that place where all possibilities existed. And when I came out of it, everything was different. But now I'm able to focus my intention on others and get them into that place as well, so that when they come out of it, that they start to notice changes. Right? So if there's probably a number of different ways that I can explain what it is that I do. Probably the simplest way is that since I know that place exists, right? Since I know that healing is possible, that it can be instant, right? I can come into a situation knowing that it's possible, right? And so all I'm really doing is encouraging somebody just to take a moment in that place. And then after they've been there for a moment, making sure that I can point out to them that something has changed. Right? So for us, sometimes seeing is believing. So when somebody starts to do something that they haven't been able to do, it's hard to question that something changed. Right? So that's why sometimes the more physical something is, the easier it is to get it to change instantly, because we have direct reference. Right? So things that are a little bit more emotional, right, where we don't have an action that can override all the thinking of the past, it can sometimes take a little bit more time and a little bit more practice, right? Because it's like, well, I know Christine thinks that she's awesome, right? I think that I'm awesome. But if we just sit around and tell each other how awesome we are, unless we go out and start doing awesome things, we'll pretty soon convince ourselves that we must not be awesome, right? So like, doing is the action of belief, but the doing is what facilitates that miracle and makes it real and makes it stick, is doing different things. So another way to look at it would be that I just encourage people to live a little bit better than they were living the last moment in time, and then the last moment in time, right? Because too often in life, we start to feel as if we don't have any options or any possibilities, or that things aren't going to be any different than they were the day before. And then we pretty much get stuck living the day before, because that's all we can really see. So if we can use the analogy of like a 100-yard race, if I know somebody's standing at the starting line, I already know they can run 100 yards. They just don't yet know they can run 100 yards. So I silently encourage them to take that first step. And after they take the first step, I encourage them to take the next step, and then the next step. And I get them far enough down the track to where when they look back, they can't question any longer that they've gone somewhere.